Hi Minky.
Hello.
Well,
nice to see you.
It's always lovely to see you. It's always an interesting time with you. You're a very interesting person.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. How did we actually meet then?
I've got no absolute...
Well, I've forgotten.
Oh, you sent me a letter on my website. Even it might be even better lighting around the front. I've thought all this out. I'm wondering here, it's much better lighting coming straight.
Anyway, here we are with Minky Grant this morning. Thank you, Minky, for giving us your time. It's a pleasure. You know, yeah, we were just talking.
That's fantastic.
Look, this is our first view on just a few products that I've brought through just to show her what they look like. No, apron.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
I'm sorry, I'll behave.
And just to show her the colours, and being the artist, I think it's really important to see how her art is reproduced and is she happy with it, because that's really, really important.
Well, I think these have come up really well.
You're happy?
Yes, I'm very, very pleased. I'm very pleased to get an image and enlarge it is always tricky. Always tricky. You can lose all the detail. And I was concerned about going over the weave. How much would you lose in the detail? But that's pretty good.
Well, I think
pretty good.
Your work is very versatile as well. There's so many images and you seem to adapt to so many styles. And I've seen that through your work that you've kindly given us to reproduce. And very quirky. Why are you so quirky?
Well, I don't really know why. I think I've given this some thought because I don't know anybody else except my daughter, and I suppose that's real, and my grandsons, because they've been with me, so they've developed the way I think. But I was brought up more or less on my own. I had a brother, but we didn't have anything to do with each other. And I've always been very empathetic with insects and animals. That's my thing. And as I got older, probably about 3 or 4, 5, 6, of that young, I realised that they were like us. And they did things that we did. And they built nests the way we would build a house. They were focused on their survival, and they just lived together. They worked it out together, and everything worked. And the older I got, I realised that there's such a relationship between all nature, which is obvious, but a lot of people don't see the obvious part of it, but we're really all one. So all my inspiration comes from words that are spoken, and they automatically get reinterpreted into an image. For instance, I couldn't paint a landscape because for me there's no emotion in it. I need emotion. So everything has an emotional concept. And when I'm painting chooks or whatever, I get the idea from somewhere, something that's spurred. I become part of that animal, and I like to see how it's thinking in that particular scene and put that expression on its face. But to do that, I have to imagine how it feels.
Yeah, well,
I can't just copy it and it'll be just flat. But I become it, and I know that sounds a bit crazy.
Because we've been talking earlier about your eyes, even that's a tiny little frog there, but the eyes, the details in the eyes, that really is...
That's the essence of the whole painting. So if it doesn't have a face and eyes, that's where the emotion is. There's no point in me doing it. So sometimes people ask me would you paint my dog? But I can't paint the dog unless I take the photo. And I will get it, I can then get its own true personality I'll wait and wait and wait, but it's all in the eyes.
And like historically, how did you get into painting? How did you start?
Well, I think I started when I was born.
So you,
I really did. I wasn't actually painting, but my mind was constructing the image.
You were like observing.
I was observing and reinterpreting what I was looking at.
So it's in your blood.
It's just there. It's
the
just
way
there.
you're wired up.
But I'm really a jeweller. I started off making jewellery.
Well, I was looking at your lovely earrings today. Very cute.
Yes,
Are they one of yours?
Yeah, these are all mine.
Are those earrings yours?
Yeah.
Oh, they're really cute because I think they're very, very... You never tend to see two little pearls, little two drops together.
Oh, don't you?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
So they're very cute.
But what I used to do as a little kid, I was always making jewellery. My mother tells me I'd sit in my high chair and she'd give me a big box of buttons and I would be under one and I would sort them all out.
So you weren't eating them?
She said you never, ever put them in your mouth. I was putting them into shapes or putting them into colours. I could have maybe just 10 buttons to play with for the whole week. And one day I'd put them into shapes, and another day I'd put them into colours, and another day I'd put them into patterns. So it was all there, making a creation out of what I was given. And I was a bit naughty. My grandmother had beautiful lampshades with all these beads hanging off them, so I cut them all off and made my own necklaces. I mean,
but you were the favourite grandchild.
Why wouldn't you? I don't think she knew. So painting, I used to draw. I used to draw shapes. I didn't ever do how I started painting. I don't really know.
How old were you when you were?
Oh, not long ago.
Oh, so this is...
Well, okay, jewellery. I 50 years making very fine jewellery, but it's all about nature. It's all flowers, it's all leaves, it's all tiny, and it's all talking to you. From that, it went to printmaking, and printmaking is really very similar to jewellery making because you're using much the same sort of tools. And my father was a plumber, and my favourite place was in his garage, playing with his tools. And that's how I sort of made things out of the tools he had. And it just evolved over the years. So it went into printmaking, and I would hand colour the etchings, and then I think I started, I don't know how I actually started painting. I think I just wanted to paint the images that I had in my head.
Get them down somewhere.
Yeah. So I could always imagine, well, how this business started with crazy things on their head. As you know, I do calendars, and every year it's a whole series.
And they're beautiful.
I'm going to move over this side.
Yeah, please. Okay.
So all of these were in the one series, and the series was hat tricks. What I wanted to do 12 animals, and I'd like to do only Australian animals because I can't emphasise with other nationalities because I don't know them. But koalas and possums, apart from the fact that I have possums in my garden and we talk to each other and they eat my flowers, so I paint them on their head. I thought if animals, birds and all creatures had to make hats, what would they make? Because they're so damn clever at making nests. And everything they do is to attract a mate. They don't do it just for comfort, it is to attract a mate. So I thought, I wonder what would an emu make? Oh, an emu would make, it has to be out of their environment, has to be out of the food they eat, or in the case of birds, the girl would go and pinch a beautiful feather from a bloke because they don't have beautiful feathers.
No.
So they would make something for themselves out of their environment. So I did a whole series on animals that have made hats, and that's how this thing with things on their heads developed.
Oh, and it's wonderful because you see the beautiful bird, you see the lovely botanical coming into it, and being Australian, and even the little add-ons that you add.
I know, I can't help it. I can't help all these. See, all these little caterpillars and things, they're all integral to what actually happens in nature. But when I do that, I like to get the expression on the bird or whatever it is that applies to what they're wearing, whether it's surprise or do you really like it, or oh my God, isn't that ridiculous, or whatever it is.
But it's fun, you know.
It's absolute fun. I can't be serious.
Well, I think life is serious as it is.
Yeah.
And if we can't escape into art, you know, escape. When you're looking at your art, you're actually reading a story, you're understanding now who is the main person, who is taking the forefront, why are they on this swing, why is he, you know, one leg down.
Well, I'm really pleased that you would think that. I don't know how many people would. But there is a story, like the story in that one, and you were pretty spot on with that one. That one's called Trust.
Yeah.
So it's called Trust. If your heart says yes, take the leap.
Well, your gut feel,
Yeah.
trust, you know, all that.
So this little frog is thinking, I trust her not to eat me because we are friends. Duck is saying, I reckon I can do this. I think I can do it. And so it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There's people, some strange people, and I don't understand why they'd ask and say, what is the point in painting that?
Oh, it's interesting.
I say, what's the point in painting anything? Really? What's the point in painting anything?
When you look at something, there's got to be a reason why it draws you in. What are you looking at? Where are you, in your mind, escaping to? And everyone is an individual. So we should all have our own stories.
Exactly. Exactly. And my story might be a bit different to other people because people don't go around thinking about, I wonder what that caterpillar would make and put on its head if it could. Most people wouldn't go around thinking that, but I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I make up a story. And the other thing where I get ideas from, I love the English language, from words. This morning I was listening to the news and there was something about misinformation. There was misinformation.
There's a lot of that these days.
Well, I straight away they see that as a female owl. Misinformation. She's the one with the information.
Yeah, the wise one.
The wise one. And you can break that down to the inform. You can break down that word and I'll get a story out of it.
Yeah.
And so it comes a lot from when people are talking and they'll say a phrase and I straight away can relate it to two animals doing that. Never to people. It's always animals.
Well, I think, are they more complicated or are humans more complicated? Because we have a lot of layers. They're pure, aren't they?
They are. They're absolutely pure. And they're pure innocence. But if you, and I live with insects and animals and I observe them. And when you do, you realise we're no different. We both do the same sort of thing. The frogs, I've got a lot of frogs, tree frogs, and the other, God, I can't remember the name. Anyway,
okay.
A lot of tree frogs. In the summer, when they're really breeding, if you sit out and watch them, all the boys come out and they take their place and they have their own little vocal thing. and they sing and make all this noise. Then the girls come out and hide behind pots. They don't just come out and play with the boys, because the boys jump on them straight away, do what they're going to do, then they're off and go to the pub. But the girls, they sit and they wait for the ones they like.
Well, they want to be courted.
They want to be courted. They don't want to be just jumped on. And at the end of summer, you'll always get the same little one going, nah, nah. He hasn't found a girl and he's all on his own. And you think, I wonder what happened to him. He didn't have personality or something. But the dragonflies, whatever it is, they all do exactly the same things. And I sort of break it down to very simplistic. Then they finish what they're doing and they go to the pub. And the girls go home and look after the babies. And that's what happens.
It's a call of nature, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's my sort of subject where I can put all nature in the one packet, because we all do the same things, but nobody notices they do.
Well, I think it is a gift that you have to think this way.
I'm not sure what
I don't know. I think
I'm
it
not
is
sure.
because you're not just thinking, oh, what's on TV, blah, blah, blah. You're thinking like that is your TV out there. What you see out in the garden or out in nature is where you can find a film there and you can observe.
I can. And the thing is, I'm not even thinking.
It
just happens.
Yeah.
It happens with words.
Gift.
It happens with just the look that an animal. You see a dog giving another dog a look, and you think that's a really human. And you know what they're thinking. They were saying, "Just stay away from me, thanks. This is my little bit of territory here." And you don't have to know what they're thinking. You can just see it in their face. So the communication between nature and us, it's all integral.
It's their
So
way.
I'm really painting us, you know.
Oh, look,
all these things, it's all about us.
Oh,
I just put them in
I think they're
animal.
much cuter.
Oh, they are. And they're innocent and they don't hurt us.
What were these ones called again? I
That's
forget.
chit chat.
Chit chat.
Well, these are three girls at lunch.
Yeah.
And she's saying, oh my God, I'm so bored. I've heard this again and again and again. And Maud over here saying, what did you say? What do we want to capture here? That side or this side on camera? Like, standing here, do you want to see this or do you want to see that? It's where we stand.
Oh, I want to see more of this, I think.